Welcome. Today we're going to be filming a day in the life of running my marketing agency. It's been a while since we filmed one of these, but we have a particularly hectic day today. So I thought it would be a good one to film because I don't even know if I'm going to have time to breathe today. We've got back-to-back calls pretty much the entire day, but we'll hopefully get some good insights for you. So let's get straight into it. It's just before 7 a.m. now, so just about to head into the office and get cracking. I'll show you the calendar and then we'll get to work. So let's go. I've taken a screenshot of it just so I can remove some sensitive info, but first call at 8, second call at 9, third call at 10, then we have a 10:30, have an 11:30, a 12, a 12:30, a 1:30, a 2, a 2:30, a 3, 3:45, and I think that'll do us for today. So not as bad as I thought, but hectic day, pretty much calls all day. It's going to stifle a lot of workflow. And then of course, booking a little trip to Europe tonight. So what I typically like to do on a Tuesday morning, and I pretty much do it every Tuesday morning, is I script content for all my channels. Content's something I probably haven't given enough attention to over the last year. Like, yes, I do it, but I've more just been ticking the boxes of doing it to say I've done it than actually put like good tangible effort into it. So that's been a big focus. So every Tuesday I script all my Twitter, all my LinkedIn, all my Instagram reels, any ads that I need to write, relevant YouTube videos. Obviously this one's not scripted, so I can probably get away with that for this week. But yeah, is there any other channels that I've missed? I don't think so. But I pretty much just sit down and bust it all out, try to think of actual good topics, put some effort into writing it. Since I've started doing this, the results have definitely shown to be stronger. Like, some of my reels have been better than before. Like, 2 of my last 5 reels have gotten more views than like the last 30. LinkedIn's been going solid. Twitter, it's always been a tougher one for me to crack. But yeah, putting actual effort into writing my content. So usually I'd have sort of 7 a.m. till 10 a.m. to do this, but we do have calls at 8 and 9, so it is going to interrupt the workflow a little bit. Wouldn't typically let calls book onto my calendar, but these are 2 8-figure brands this morning, so I don't know, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm going to script all this content out and then, yeah, have a call in about an hour, so getting stuck into it. Alrighty, just finished the first hour of scripting. I got distracted by a few things, to be honest. Something I'm trying to work on. But time to make a coffee. I got my first call in about 5 minutes with 8-figure brand, I assume, looking for help with their email marketing. I don't prepare very adequately for these calls. Like, I mean, some people might be surprised by that, some people not. But bloody coffee. Some people would be surprised by that, some people not. Because, I mean, obviously, if you go into a call and you prepare, a lot of people will tell you to do that. You're probably going to have better rapport on the call. You're probably going to be able to say more insightful things. But I much prefer to just go on those calls and have a super casual chat with the founder. Like, what are they looking for? What are they struggling with? Like, obviously, I'll take a quick glance at their website before we hop on the call to get an understanding for what they're selling and try to give myself some context. But, you know, don't overthink it too much. If you're someone who's new to sales calls, I guess, I wouldn't even call this a sales call. We're sort of just jumping on and having a chat. It only really turns into a sales call if I understand what it is they're looking for and if they're actually looking for help with their email marketing. But if you're someone who's new to it, don't overthink it. I've never overthought it. Ever since my first sort of calls, I always just hop on the phone and say what needed to be said, I guess. So yeah, I got that in a few minutes. I got all the scripting for my newsletter done for the week. Wrote 2 LinkedIn posts. We'll try to pump out another 3 LinkedIn posts before moving on to Instagram Reels and ads. But yeah, gonna make a coffee and then have this call. We'll give you an update afterwards. Time to get some fucking natural light in here. Can't be looking like a goblin on the first call of the day. I do like working in the dark in the morning. It's something about it, you know, makes you feel like it's early, even though I start work at 7 and some people, you know, start work at 4 or 5 or whatever they want to say. You know, I think getting in there in the dark, it's just like a more distraction-free zone. So that's what I like. But got the room set up, ready to rip into this first call. Popular 8-figure brand, I think Melbourne brand. They sell clothes. Yeah, keen to chat to them. I get pumped with their ads all the time, so it should be a good conversation. Alrighty, first call done. I would say that is a success, or was a success. Get an audit done for them and then touch base again on Friday. So yeah, pretty good. We usually do 2 calls with everyone who comes in. They come in for the first time. We just have a chat, get some context. Like I said, keep it pretty casual. I'll go away and do an audit. Then we'll touch base again in a few days' time for a follow-up call where we can go through the audit and discuss whether or not it's going to be a good fit. In that audit, we'll sort of just unpack their whole account, but also good for us. I mean, it's good for them because we can just give them a ton of advice about the account, whether or not they want to work with us, but it's good for us because we can sort of pick and choose who we think is going to be a good fit in a sense. Like obviously A, can we make the money, but B, are they aligned with our way of thinking? Because I can show them in the audit, like this is exactly what we're going to do. And they can either be like, yep, that sounds like a good plan, or nah, I don't like the way you guys operate, or I don't like the way that you guys think about things, whatever. And then, we don't work together. Win-win. So that's that done. Back to some scripting. Next call in 40 minutes. That call only went for 15. Next call in 40 minutes with another 8-figure brand. They have not confirmed attendance, so I might have to send a quick follow-up text or to see if they're still planning on coming. But yeah, back to scripting in the meantime. Gonna pump out some more LinkedIn stuff and then get on to the reels. Hopefully a productive 40 minutes. Alrighty, just finished my second call of the day. Also went pretty well. They're looking for very niche assistance with some aspects of their email marketing. So it will be an interesting one. I'll have to take a look at the account and see where we can potentially help or train their team internally. But yeah, second call done. I've got about 40 minutes until call 3, which is just a client call to go over some stuff they have coming up. But yeah, next 40 minutes, typically I'd like to keep scripting. Potentially, I haven't done any of my reels for next week, but because I have so many back-to-back bloody calls today, I'm not going to have time to do any of the actual time-sensitive work I need to do, which is client work, team training, any of the sort of thing that helps run the operation. Like I can't just spend all my day writing content and taking calls. So yeah, I'm going to have to sort of cut into typically what this would be is high leverage time. I'm going to have to cut into that with doing operational work that's actually just that needs to be done before the end of the day. So going to get stuck into that, review some things, chat to some clients, get into their accounts, do what needs to be done. That'll take me through till, what time is it now? 9:20. That'll take me through till 10. Then I have sort of back-to-back calls, 10 till 11. And then I have sort of a half an hour break. And then I have back-to-back calls, 11:30 till 4:15 pretty much. So annoying, but is what it is. You can't ask for more calls on the calendar and then be upset when you have calls on the calendar. So that's life. But yeah, going to get into some client work now before I've wasted my entire day filming content, writing content, and taking calls. Alrighty, what I'm doing now, like I said, into some client work, some ops stuff. So reviewing a few emails, liaising for a few things we have coming up. Like it's a big time at the moment. We have a few of our bigger clients doing some really big drops, launches and stuff over the next couple of days or this week. And then planning for end of financial year sales in June. Obviously, I'd say 75% of our clients are going to be running end of financial year sales in June. And, when you're working with a lot of brands, it's coordinating the better part of like 50 sales or something like that. So there's a lot of moving pieces at the moment. We've had a lot of account managers, well, not a lot. We hired about 3 account managers a couple of months ago, which has been really good. They're very elite, but obviously this is the first time they're dealing with sort of situations like this within our organization. So, brushing them up on how we like to do things, ensuring everyone's aligned on what needs to happen. So lots of moving pieces at the moment, but yeah, just moving through all of that now. I think one thing that a lot of brands don't see, or like what a lot of brands stuff up, I think one thing that a lot of brands stuff up is none or inadequate planning that goes into their end of financial year sales, like or sales in general. Like they sort of get to 2 weeks out and go, oh shit, I need to run a sale. What do I need to do? And then they just half-ass it in a sense. They don't have the creative dialed. They haven't really thought about the offer. They've just thrown together something that they think will work. And then they're like, you know, chaotically trying to manage all the agencies, like ads agencies, email agency like us to make sure everything's aligned. So we like to try and get in front of things as much as possible. Like it's sort of, you know, probably a month away now from when most brands are going to be actually running their end of financial year sales, but we need to be on the money. We need to be prepared for to put ourselves in a position to succeed as much as possible. Same with sort of Black Friday when that comes around. Like we really want to be having discussions about Black Friday in September to prepare for the end of November. Might sound a bit overkill for some people, but it's kind of just what you got to do to make sure that you can compete. You know, it's a tough time in e-com at the moment. A lot of stores are sort of struggling. A lot of stores, you know, have had a pretty tough start to the year, especially in Australia, but you know, it's the times like these where you got to sort of pull your socks up and get to work. So that's what, bit of background. But now just reviewing a few emails and planning these sales before my next call. I've only got about 15 minutes now. 4 calls down, had the 2 prospect calls, client call with my accountant. It's 11:15. I've just had some lunch. Next call in 15 minutes, which I have 90 minutes of back-to-back calls. Then I have a 15-minute break. Then I have a call. Then I have a 15-minute break. Then I have 90 minutes of more calls. 15-minute break. Last call of the day. So, going to be pretty hectic afternoon from here. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 calls. Honestly, it's days like today where you just get so mentally drained. Like you're not actually doing much high leverage work in itself. Like taking calls is not leverage. Like it's necessary, but it's not leverage. So look, it's what can you do? It's all sort of part of it, but today's like today where you just got to survive and then you need to recover hard because like these are the days that are the most mentally draining. You're the least creative. Like I can hardly even like, you know, I've been up working all day. I'll be working all the way through till 4. I'm going to be cooked. I'll try to get some exercise in just to clear the head. And then, just eat some food and go to bed sort of thing and repeat tomorrow. These are probably like my least favorite days, but I do prefer to have like one day a week that just have majority of these calls so I can just pump it out. But if I can give any advice to anyone, it's certainly try your hardest to protect your time. Look, when you're coming up and you're starting out, like you've got to just do everything you can. And that's still me. Like even now, like we've got 25 people on the team, 60 or so clients, whatever it is. You've just got to still be so hungry to break the rules in a sense. But in an ideal world, I'm not really taking any calls before 11 or 12 a.m. This is time for me to be creative, do high leverage things. And then in an ideal world, maybe I have like 3 calls in the afternoon. And outside of that, I can then, you know, work on the ops and chat to the team and solve some problems where needed. But all part of it. So next is another client call. Actually, next 2 calls are client calls. Then I have a check-in with our BDM. But yeah, that's sort of the next 90 minutes. Now, I'm sort of just clearing tasks out that I need to do today for some clients that I'm working on some projects for. But aside from that, that sort of stuff should be wrapped up before this next call. So then I can sort of take these calls. I don't have the, you know, looming tasks of today over the back of my mind. And then I have a few things on my to-do list, which is got to do a few audits of accounts before tomorrow as well. Don't know when I'm going to fit that in. Wrap up a few one-time projects. I need to do some final reviews of that. Don't know when I'm going to fit that in. And trying to hire a new designer at the moment. So got to vet a few people for that. But all in all, is what it is. Enjoying the process, and I'll sort of catch up with you guys after this next block of calls. All right, client call done. Always good to have a catch up with clients. Got another client call in 5 minutes. I've had the biggest blessing in the world. My sort of 1:15, I think it was, my 1:15 appointment cancelled. They actually double booked and they've already spoken to someone from my team. So very good. There's nothing better than sort of having like a 1 hour slot just open up when you thought you had a call, because that'll be some really key time for me to get some stuff done this afternoon. So 2 more calls now, 1 hour break, and then 4 calls for the Arvo. So what I'm essentially looking to roll out and improve on, and some feedback I just got on that client call is like, I think we're very, very good at
doing exactly what we need to do to get results for clients. But naturally, I mean, and me specifically, like our account managers are way better at this than I am, but giving sort of check-ins and status updates of what's happening. Like I think living in Australia, and one thing that like sort of actually led to probably a good story about me losing my first client. So the first client I ever lost, we were getting probably, or at the time it was more just me, getting the most elite results that you could possibly get. But I didn't often communicate this because I think growing up in Australia, you're often taught like not to gloat, to be humble, do all those things. And I definitely confused that with like not telling the client how good we were going. So it often just leads me to like downplay things, you know, like we'll just work in the background and not actually be like, hey, these are all the great things we're doing. But unfortunately with client relationships, you can't really afford to have a mindset like that. Like you definitely need to consistently be telling people what you're doing because they've got a million other things on in their day. And if they haven't heard from you in like 2 or 3 days, they're just going to be like, what the fuck? Oh, I haven't heard from the email guy in a couple of days. Like, what is this person doing? So the best thing that we've started doing and what I'm trying to improve on personally is just sending better check-ins to clients. So literally just saying like, hey, this is what happened last week. This is what we're working on this week. Cheers. And something super short like that, clients just lap it up and they love it. So just some feedback that I've been getting recently, something that personally I'm not good at and something I'm really trying to train my team on. So, you know, if you're running an agency or you're running a service-based business, giving your sort of clients consistent updates, even if they don't ask for it, is the best thing you can do. And don't be afraid to gloat. Like if you're getting good results, you don't need to come off like you're gloating, but you do need to share the fact that you're getting good results. You can't assume that they already know that. Like you really need to drive that home for them. So yeah, let's get into these next calls and then have a good block of work uninterrupted this hour. Right, I am 6 calls down. I'm feeling rooted, to be honest. I've got got an hour and a bit until my next call. But yeah, it's been one of those just mentally draining days, just discussing pretty in-depth things on most calls. Just had a call with one of our biggest partners. Someone's trying to call me on Instagram. I hate when people who are trying to, like, I don't know if anyone else has seen this, but when people are trying to outreach you or sell you their service and they fucking like cold call you on Instagram or like WhatsApp or something, it's like, bro, relax. But yeah, just had a call with one of our biggest partners discussing their end of financial year sale. Super exciting stuff. It's something that like you sometimes can't fathom when you're, I don't know, 2 years ago I wouldn't have been able to fathom that like we were working with a 9-figure brand who is, you know, now coming into the end of financial year sales, and we're helping them we're strategizing the whole email and SMS side of how they're going to launch the end of financial year sale, how they're going to succeed throughout it. You know, they'll probably have like a $15 million month or something. I don't know, like I have no idea what they'll hit, but you don't really like sort of fathom the weight of that, I guess, when you're starting out and when you're first working with brands. Like I remember signing our first brand, or me signing my first client who was doing $200K a month or something, or they were doing $2 million a year, and I was just over the moon. I was like, holy crap, like this is a massive company. Because beforehand I'd only worked with brands who would say we're doing $50K a month or something, and you kind of just keep like partnering with bigger and bigger people. And that's not to take away from like how amazing it is to work with companies who aren't doing 9 figures. Like some of the best relationships we have are with our smaller partners, and at the end of the day, it's all a journey. Everyone starts somewhere. But it is interesting when you sort of think back and like you're thinking of the weight of working with a 9-figure brand. Like, you know, we're probably going to dictate a strategy that is responsible for bringing in like somewhere between $5 and $10 million in a 30-day window. And it's just crazy to think about, to be honest. Sometimes you just got to sit and reflect and think about how far things have come. But yeah, besides the point, I am sitting outside getting some fresh air. It's a bit of a shitty day here in Brisbane. Bit of an awful day here in Brisbane, but yeah, I just need to get my eyes off the laptop for a second before I capitulate. But yeah, 4 or 5 more hours left in this day, and then I'm keen to get some exercise in and just sweat out everything that's happened. But yeah, that is today so far. Honestly, days like today I find difficult. I just can't get into flow at all. Like, I think I wanted to film this vlog today because I had so many calls on, but it also shows that not every day is like great or super productive. Like, I would love to sit down for 4 hours and work on 1 or 2 things and get into a really good flow with those things. But geez, I'm just cooked today, to be honest. My brain is jumping all over the shop. Like, I'm thinking about a million different things. And that's what happens when you're just jumping between calls. It's like you got to juggle a million different mental ideas. But I mean, regardless, I think we've been productive given the circumstances. Obviously, all those calls needed to happen. Crossed through a few things on the to-do list. Yeah, I think I've still got 4 more calls, 15 minutes till the next one. The next one's with the client. It's usually pretty good. We usually wrap it up within 10 minutes and that's done. Just a quick check-in. But I'm going through some job applications from designers. I've got to go through 2 more things I've got to do for clients before tonight. I'm trying to find a new video editor for short form. And then I want to start preparing some stuff for Black Friday. You're going to keep that quiet for the time being, but just preparing some content and whatnot. And lastly, what was on this? I want to script things for next week. I didn't get that done this morning. If I don't do it today, I'm probably not going to do it till the weekend, and then I'm behind the 8 ball already. So yeah, that's this month. Up to this day. My brain is very, very cooked. Oh, and I've still got to film 2 bloody audits. So yeah, very cooked day. But it goes to show it is very important to protect your time. Obviously, some days you can't help it, like today. They're just going to be cooked. But it's important to show up on these days and still do your best regardless, as these are the ones that, although they're not productive, these are probably the ones that still move the needle in the grand scheme of things, as you can't avoid the trenches sometimes. I was meant to go to Retail Fest tomorrow through Friday on the Goldie, but I genuinely just have not planned well enough. I forgot it was on until last week, and then I went to book it, and then I realized I had in-person meetings on Thursday in Brisbane, and it's just a nightmare. So that was a muck up from my end as well, but it's all part of it. Maybe next year I'll be a bit more prepared and ready to go. But yeah, that is us for now. Check in after these calls. Alrighty, we're done for the day, I think. Few things, it's a pretty chaotic afternoon. It was one of those ones where a few things just fucking kept popping up last minute. Now my to-do list is longer than it was at the start of the day. But one of those days where you just have a whole bunch of calls, not much you can do about it. Got to grind through days like this. Tomorrow's a lot clearer, and the next day is looking all right as well. So got to get up, start bright and early tomorrow, and try to just cross a bunch of shit off the to-do list as very necessary at this stage. But yeah, usually what happens is the to-do list sort of just keeps building out a little bit until we get to the weekend, and then I use the weekend to cross off the to-do list. So is what it is. But yeah, gonna sort of wrap up for today because my brain is just fucking cooked after all those calls. Go do some exercise, get a run in or something, and then yeah, plan to just hit the ground running tomorrow and rinse and repeat. You're going for a run. Weather looks dog shit. Using the trusty corded headphones. But yeah, thanks for watching this vid. Appreciate you tuning in. If you want to see more stuff like this, hit subscribe.